Let's have. There he is. All right, so we're back, man. Welcome back. For whoever plugs in, taps in. It's after 3 o'clock, and the NFL free agency tampering period is well underway. A lot of teams, man, is out there doing some damage for real. But let's get into, as a Baltimore Ravens fan, you know we always going to set the table with the Ravens first. And so the biggest news coming out of Baltimore Ravens is that Tyler Lindenbaum, one of the biggest names in free agency as a center, has set the NFL record for his new deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. And the report is that he received a 3-year, $81 million deal, breaking even my prediction of 25 million. That's a $27 million APY for the center position. So he couldn't stay in Baltimore. There's absolutely no way you could pass up that money. And there was absolutely no way the Baltimore Ravens could match that level of a deal. So as I'm scrolling my feed, just trying to make sure we didn't miss any big news. So, what do you guys think, Baltimore Ravens fans, and then NFL fans? What do you think, Raiders fans, if you in here, or if you happen to run across this video, when you hear that your franchise gave Tyler Lindenbaum 27 million, and what that really says, all in all, is that the Raiders are absolutely drafting Fernando Mendoza. Now, there had been some talk and some running off at the mouth by some people who thought they were really smart national sports pundits that said, oh, the Raiders may trade down. No, they're not. They're going to take Mendoza at number one. They've set the table with a center. They're going to move the guy who played center last year to the guard position. And their goal is to protect their young quarterback, allow the intelligence and intellect of Tyler Lindenbaum to set the framework for what happens along that offensive line and allow Mendoza to do what he's supposed to do, which is deliver the ball until he becomes more acclimated with what's going on in the NFL. Man, so shout out to Tyler Lindenbaum for getting your money at 25, 26 years old. That means you set yourself up with a short deal, 3 years, to get another bag in just a few years, as long as you keep up your play. And so I was one of those guys from Baltimore as a fan that I said that the Baltimore Ravens should not keep him at all costs, and especially that cost. But man, I'm glad he went and got his money. You had to. You absolutely had to go get that money. So man, I'm glad to hear it for sure. Um, Isaiah Likely got a 3-year, $40 million deal from the New York Giants. And that's something I'll break bread on first thing in the morning between 8 and 8:30 when we go live. I have a lot to say about that deal and about the Baltimore Ravens not getting that deal done with Isaiah Likely. Because what that says to me is that the Ravens did not offer him at least what they offered Mark Andrews, because it's essentially the same deal. The Baltimore Ravens gave Mark Andrews 3 years, 39 million. The Giants gave Isaiah Likely 3 years, 40 million. And Isaiah Likely is 5 years younger than Mark Andrews. But nevertheless, it is what it is. Shout out to Isaiah Likely, man, for changing the game for himself and his family. Glad to see he went out and got his bread. I'm always excited about dudes getting their money. All right. So it is what it is. The New York Giants released their punter after signing Jordan Stout from the Baltimore Ravens. He also got a record breaking deal, something like $12 million. I know it's not 12 million APY, so it must be $12 million for over the whole deal. But he is a Pro Bowl level punter, and so I'm glad he got his money as well. Things are not shaping up so swell for the Baltimore Ravens post the Max Crosby trade. Let's see who else. The Buffalo Bills lose their guard, David Edwards. If I'm remembering correctly, he is the guard, Pro Bowl level guard from the Buffalo Bills. and he is departing for New Orleans Saints. Travis Etienne is also going to the New Orleans Saints. So it looks like the New Orleans Saints are trying to put themselves in position to be competitive in 2026. And I'll tell you something that I'm noticing. I'll tell you something that I'm noticing, and that is teams that had a nice run, showed some promise at the end of last year, and maybe they've been down for a while, like the Saints. You could say the Falcons have been down for a while. You could say the Chicago Bears up until last year was down for a while. That's why they drafted Malik. Not um, what's the quarterback in Chicago? Oh my goodness, Caleb Williams. That's why they was drafting him number one overall, because they've been down for a while. And they're putting their money where their mouth is, right? They're trying to push some of their chips into the middle of the table and say, hey, look, we're going to try and capitalize on this little bit of a window opening. Now, when I say a little bit of a window, I'm definitely not talking about a Super Bowl window. I'm simply talking about the window to compete, the window maybe to make the playoffs. And for the Saints specifically, shout out to the Saints, they have been down for a minute. They hadn't been right since Drew Brees. And so for them to go out and get a quarterback, build an offensive line, move on from Alvin Kamara, bring in Travis Etienne, a younger back. Um, they're trying to compete for that NFC South, which is always up for grabs. One of the big money. Well, hold on. Let me hit the 49ers, who I talked about a little bit earlier, being in that NFC West. They signed a wide receiver, Mike Evans. Big time change of scenery for Pro Bowler Mike Evans. Do it all, everything from Tampa, Mike Evans. I guess the Bucks were not offering what he thought he had earned. I thought maybe they would give him a little bit of a hometown deal to stay with the franchise, and seeing he was drafted there. But the 49ers are going out and getting Mike Evans, man. So shout out to Mike Evans. Shout out to the 49ers, man, for getting some things done. Let me see who else making some moves today. With the Raiders making another move, big time move. They get wide receiver Jalen Naylor from the Minnesota Vikings. I talked about the Vikings earlier. Talked about them getting Kyler Murray and having Naylor and Addison and Justin Jefferson. Well, not Naylor any longer. He's going to the Raiders on a, I believe it is a. It doesn't say right here in this headline, so I won't get into it. But I'll look at some of these deals specifically tonight and report on them in the morning. But another good signing. You can see the Raiders positioning themselves to support the young quarterback. You can still believe that they're going to get some more offensive line help in the draft, and they're probably going to get a wide receiver or two in the draft. And so they're putting together a nice little roster over there in Vegas. And I think that as the Chiefs continue to try and hit reset, I think a team like the Raiders could become competitive. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to compete for no championship anytime soon, but they're going to be competitive. Man, the Pittsburgh Steelers make another big time move. Man, Pittsburgh coming. And as a Ravens fan, I hate to say it, but I got to give respect to the Steelers, man. They, of course, traded for Michael Pittman. So now they got a 6'4 DK Metcalf, unless they're moving on from DK Metcalf because of some stuff that happened last year. But they also got a 6'4, 6'5 Michael Pittman. And then they signed cornerback Jamel Dean. So they're building something in Pittsburgh. And the crazy thing is, as deep as Pittsburgh is on the defense side of the ball, they've added some talent offensively, and that's just primarily because they don't have big money tied up into a quarterback. Now, that's the blessing and the curse for Pittsburgh, right? The blessing and the curse for Pittsburgh is that they don't have a quarterback. So if they can bring a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers back in for 10 to 15 million, they can absolutely be competitive and try and win something in 2026. I think they're positioning themselves as the AFC North division winner. I think they're positioning themselves to really do some damage next season. So it's going to be super interesting to see how things shake out. Chicago Bears have made another signing for a linebacker. They're signing Devin Bush. I think he is formerly of the Cleveland Browns, if I'm remembering correctly. So, shout out to the Bears, man. The Bears was one of those teams that was on the cusp, and they got a young, talented quarterback. They got some young wide receivers. They traded away DJ Moore, so they must believe in what they have in house. And they've continued to just add pieces here, add pieces there. So, I think that they're making their stance that, hey, we're not just a 1 year wonder. And so, shout out, man, to the Bears for not resting on their laurels, not just saying, hey, let's just run it back, right? As long as we got Willis, we can uh we have a chance, right? No, they're going to build around that young quarterback. They're going to build a defense. They're going to build an offense, and they're going to go out and compete. And so I think that people are going to have to hear from from the Bears. A report comes through right here for Baltimore Ravens fans. Ravens are not tendering running back Keaton Mitchell. So you can almost bet one or two things. Either they have a deal worked out that's going to come soon with Keaton Mitchell, or he will be gone. I would say Keaton Mitchell will be off the free agent market by Friday. If he doesn't have a deal that has not been disclosed yet with the Baltimore Ravens, he will be off the free agent market by Friday. He has a lot of speed. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can be a game changer. And I think some team who just needs a little bit of juice, who needs a change of pace back, somebody who can come in, get 7 to 10 carries, possibly a couple of targets out of the backfield. Somebody will come and get him. Somebody will drop him probably $3, $4 million a year on a 2, 3 year deal, and he'll be gone. So it looks like Keaton Mitchell is not returning because the Baltimore Ravens did not tender him. And it looks as if they wanted to really keep him, they would have just put that tender on him and been done with it. The Cleveland Browns, as it popped up on my screen, they're signing CJ uh, Johnson. Wait a minute. That can't be right. I must have read that wrong. Let me look into this more. They're signing guard Johnson, which must be the guard from, let's see where he's from. Seems like I talked about him earlier this week. Oh my goodness. Then as soon as I'm looking, trying to locate the article, my screen flips because there's some more news. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Mm, and just keep rolling. Let me see if I can catch up with that article. If I can't, then we'll just keep rolling. Let's see what the Browns did in division. Let's see. Let's see. Mm, don't know who that is. So it must not be that great. Let's see here. Okay. I think this is one of the guys I wanted to see the Baltimore Ravens pick up. Let's see. Free agent. Oh, okay. No, it's not who I thought, right? But the Browns are taking away from the Los Angeles Chargers guard Zion Johnson. So Chargers lose a vital piece of their offensive line, and he's going to be added to the Cleveland Browns, which means some of their guards who were free agents will not be returning. So I need the Ravens to put their name on those guards. Let's see what else. No, we're not going to report on that one. Let's see what other news we got. Man, it's a lot of things happening in the league. A lot of big time trades. We'll break down trades on probably Thursday or Friday when some of this free agency news uh dies down. Let's see. Signing with oh my gosh, let's see. So the Denver Broncos standout defensive end Franklin Myers is signing with the Tennessee Titans. So look like the Tennessee Titans are trying to build a defense. They already got Simmons over there, adding Myers to Franklin Myers to that. So looks like Tennessee is trying to build something now. I'm not saying they're going to be competitive, but they're going to be tough. So shout out, man, to Tennessee, man, for trying to build, trying to get out that basement, man, where they've been for some time. Man, they haven't been good in some wow. I guess since Ryan Tannehill was their quarterback, because they've drafted a couple of different quarterbacks. They drafted Malik Willis. They drafted what's the kid who has the big arm? Who always turned it over? I can't think of his name. What was it? I can't think. Let's see. New York Giants is making another signing. They are signing free agent linebacker Trayvon Edmonds. So shout out to the Giants and John Harbaugh for still doing business. They got that cap space and they making it work. And I guess hey, if you're gonna make a dent in your 2026 roster, you better get started early because it's a lot, and there's gonna be a lot of talent left, right? And there's going to be some good deals to be had. There's going to be some guys I believe get cut later on in the week to make some cap space, things of that nature. But there are some dudes who are getting snatched off the free agency list right now. And as soon as I try to read an article, it's going so fast, it is gone. Let me go back down to, and I'm sure I missed some when I was gone. I tried to catch them all up, but it is what it is. I'll go back and look for big signings later on today. Let's see who this is right here. Um, mm, nah, not really a big deal. But the Colts are gonna sign Titans edge rush Arden Key to a deal. So you know, Titans let one go, bring one in. Probably an upgrade at this point. Let's see. The Chargers are going to sign. Uh, I don't know if let me get into this article and see if this is even worth reporting. Yeah, it is worth reporting. The Chargers are signing tight end Charlie Kolar. Another Baltimore Ravens loss. Another big time blow to the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see if I can see any news on his deal. Yeah, his numbers are actually here. Charlie Kolar is signing a 3-year deal worth $24 million a year. Shout out to Charlie Kolar, man, for getting his bread. It's kind of interesting how we got Ravens West, which is the Los Angeles Chargers, and we got Ravens North, which has become the New York Giants. Oh my gosh, man, we are getting stripped bare out here in these free agency streets. But hey, you got to get your money, man. Listen, you only get one chance where somebody's going to be offering you millions and millions of dollars sometimes to join a team, and you can't be what's that word? You can't be loyal to who brought you into the league, man. You have to be loyal to yourself first. So, man, shout out to the dudes, man, for getting their money. I love it. Go get your bread. So it looks like the Baltimore Ravens are going to be looking for tight end help probably in free agency and also in the draft. I told you that Max Crosby trade was going to be costly. And so I hope it's worth it. I hope it's worth it. We'll talk exclusively in the morning about the Ravens, and then we'll get into the rest of the league as well. Let's see. I don't know if this. Well, Titans have made another signing. Let's see if this is even worth talking about. They're signing cornerback Flute. So Titans still making moves. They had a lot of cap space, and they got a quarterback on a rookie deal, so you got to build around him quickly. Um, and I think that's the real point of what the I think that's the real point of the Tyler Lindenbaum deal out in the Raiders. I think that you can only give a deal like that, that kind of market setting deal, record breaking deal. You can only give that kind of deal out when you have a well, number one, they don't even have a quarterback on a rookie deal. Okay. Not just yet. They don't have a quarterback on a rookie deal yet, but they will. And so because they will have a quarterback on a rookie deal, now it's when you go in. Now it's when you go find the guy that you want, find the guy that's going to fit your system, and you sign that dude, right? Because when the quarterback starts getting paid, you may be able to get one or two good deals from a free agent in after that point. So you got to go get it. So man, I appreciate these dudes, these teams who are going out and signing who they want to sign because one, they have the money, and two, uh, dang, a cornerback that I would have liked to have seen in Baltimore, Alani Taylor from the New Orleans Saints. He's also headed to Tennessee. So another move. You can see where Tennessee is going. They hadn't even signed a wide receiver that I remember to go with their young quarterback. They are building a defense. So I guess what you do is you build a defense that you know is going to be able to lock up and lock down offenses, and then you turn around and you make your offense palatable. Something that's enough to put a couple of points on the board. And because what Tennessee is doing over there looks like they're going to be able to lock down some offenses or at least make life difficult. So shout out to Tennessee, man. Let's see. Headed Okay, so J.K. Dobbins, running back, uh, is headed back to the Denver Broncos. So he must have done some things last year that they liked. I've had an appreciation for, and they're bringing him back. So, but let me do something right quick as it pertains to J.K. Dobbins. Shout out to J.K. Dobbins, man. He went through a whole lot in Baltimore. It wasn't the team's fault, I don't believe, and it definitely wasn't his fault. But he just stayed hurt. He just kept plugging away, man. Shout out to his dedication, his commitment, his motivation, his heart, his desire, man, to have a career. And he revitalized his career out in Los Angeles with the Chargers, and then Sean Payton gave him a chance over there in Denver, and he turned it into another deal. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that because he's always been talented, always had good speed, always had good hands, good receiver out the backfield. It was just the injuries, and so shout out to Dobbins, man. Get your bread. Get your bread, brother. Appreciate seeing that. Let's see what the champs got going on. Let's see here. Mm, is this somebody they're bringing back on their own, or is this somebody new? They are agreeing to a deal with cornerback Job. Don't know much about him. Wait a minute. He was on their team last year. Let's see. Seattle agreeing to. Okay. Okay. So it looks like Seattle is looking to keep a piece of their championship puzzle defensively. They lost Kobe Bryant earlier, so they're definitely probably going to make it a point to retain of a lot of their other parts. But lot of moves, a lot of money spent. Let me go back down my list and see if anything else pops out that I may have missed. any kind of notable signings, things of that nature, and then we'll just talk. Um, because I think I saw a signing that I missed, or something that I meant to talk about that I just didn't. Let's see here. That's the Bengals. The Bengals signs a safety Cook. I don't know much about him. Not going to tap into that. I'll have to break down the division and what we did another day. Let's see. The Titans again. Saw that one. All right. So let's. Oh, the big money guy at the edge rush position was Jalen Phillips. 4 years, $120 million to go to the Carolina Panthers. So the Carolina Panthers, I was talking about them earlier when I said, hey, the Saints is coming, Atlanta's coming. If they get Tua for real, Tampa loses Mike Evans. So Carolina say, okay, they might be coming, but we still here. So Carolina Panthers have been trying to build an edge rush room for a while. They've plugging away, plugging away, plugging away. A lot of free agents. DJ Warnham, Pat Jones. They drafted two guys, Scorton and another guy, Prince somebody, and it just wasn't getting it done. So they went out and got Jalen Phillips. And Jalen Phillips is incredibly explosive if he's healthy. So if he's healthy, look for the Carolina Panthers to be better defensively, especially up front, than they were last year. I suspect that there is going to be some more cuts coming later on this week between now and Wednesday, because everybody has to be below the salary cap line prior to the new league year starting. So look for some restructures, uh, look for some more releases, look for some extensions, and maybe a trade or two. Let's see. A little bit of Commanders news. Uh, nah, I'm not reporting on that. That's nah. I'm not doing that. Let's see. What did they do right here? Falcons make another move. The Falcons is not playing, y'all. They are not playing. I wonder why he signed a 1 year deal. Let me make sure I'm reading this report right before I report it. Let me see here. Let me roll down. Well, it don't even put his. Oh, okay. Hmm. Who is Thomas? Who is defensive end Thomas? I don't recognize that name. Let's go down here in the article, see who the Falcons have signed. Let's see here. Uh it must be Cameron Thomas. I don't know who that is. Must be good. He got signed on the first day. I mean, Atlanta's still making moves. Uh, so I'm gonna camp out right here on Atlanta. Let a couple of news articles pop up, and then we'll talk about them. So listen, dude, and dudettes, lot of moves, and I'm not sure if you're excited about your team, if you're disappointed in what your team is doing, but let me see who can I see has not made a deal yet that I remember. Let's go divisions. Buffalo made a deal. Jets made several deals. Patriots. Have the Patriots made a deal yet? Yeah. Patriots made a deal. They signed Draymond Jones. Miami, several deals. If we go to the Bengals, Browns, Steelers, I think they all made moves today. If whether it was a trade or not. When you go to the Chiefs made a move. Chargers made a move. Raiders made several moves. Broncos, yeah, they made a move. They re-signed J.K. Dobbins. So I can't think of anybody. See, Houston, Titans, Jacksonville, Colts. Yeah, everybody. Carolina, Tampa, Atlanta, New Orleans, Dallas. I saw made one move. Philadelphia. Did they make a move today? If they have, I have not noticed it. It must not be something that stood out to me. Giants several moves, and Commanders several moves. Um, I have not seen the Packers. Have not seen the Packers make a move yet, unless I just overlooked it. Minnesota, Detroit, and the Bears, and then every team in the um, AFC, excuse me, NFC West made moves. So I think every team that I can think of, except for one, and they probably made a move, and I just don't remember it. But they're out there getting it. They're out there getting it. Now, but here's the thing. As a fan, right? Here's the scary part. As a fan, if I know my team has been semi garbage for a little while, when I see tampering start, it would make me a little nervous. It absolutely would. It would make me a little nervous only because I don't have any evidence that we were good last year. And so with no moves on day one or day two of tampering, it makes me nervous that we're gonna be trash again. See, because here's the deal. If we wasn't good, I don't have any confidence in the draft. I don't have if you're not in that first 14, 15 players, I don't think that you're going to come in and have a real impact. Now, all first rounders, probably second rounders are expected to be impactful in year one. But as a fan of a team who may not have been good over the last couple of seasons, when your team don't make moves, let me know if that lessens your confidence because it would me. If the Baltimore Ravens had come out today, and let me tell the truth, we were not good last year. And if we had come out today and we did not have the Max Crosby trade or at least one thing done along that offensive line, I would be afraid. Even though there's tons of talent left, I would sincerely be afraid that we would be garbage once again. Let's see. Lions make another move. This is like the third or fourth move today. What are they doing? Let's see. They're bringing in. Oh, okay. They're bringing in an offensive tackle or signing their own offensive tackle. Okay, I thought they done something, but nevertheless, man. Um, yeah. So and then so speaking of the Ravens, and so then if we hadn't done anything, and I saw Isaiah Likely leave, I saw Jordan Stout leave, I saw Charlie Kolar leave, I saw Tyler Lindenbaum leave, I saw Draymond Jones leave, and you can expect a lot more gonna leave. I'd be crazy nervous. I would be crazy nervous. And I'm actually kind of nervous anyway. Max Crosby is one player, and he cost us two. And in truth, he probably cost us several more players than that, only because his contract is so large. And so I think his impact is going to be huge because he's a vocal leader. I think he has the ability to make some things happen, both verbally and physically, from a on the field play context. But we got a long way to go. Pittsburgh, they've done some things today that let me know they ain't playing around. Um, Not really concerned about the Browns just yet, although their defense is always legit. The Buffalo Bills have. I'm just thinking about the contenders well, thinking about the teams who've been considered contenders. Buffalo Bills at DJ Moore. That was their big move. They did lose an offensive lineman, a major piece. The Patriots didn't lose anything major, but I think they did trade away their center, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But hey, it's not for me to explain. Um, the Chargers, they made some moderate moves, for sure. Um, let me think. Let me think. Who else could last year playoff teams? Jacksonville lost Travis Etienne, but I guess they have a plan for that. I expect them to grab a running back in the draft. And I think they had a guy who was just kind of the running mate for Etienne last year. So I expect him to just take over what Travis Etienne was doing. So I think Jacksonville will be fine. Houston, uh, I wouldn't call them a contender, but they do some strange things with their offensive line. I mean, you see them trade away big time well, not big time, but offensive line pieces. Like they traded away Larry Tunsil last year, sent him to the Commanders. They traded away another offensive lineman this year, and that's the thing they've struggled at a lot is protecting their quarterback. And so, doesn't make a whole lot of sense what I'm seeing from them. But you know, if they're in their division contention, then they can be a contender, especially with the kind of defense that they play. So, um, let's see what else. Who else is a contender? Chiefs don't know. Don't know. Anytime you got Patrick Mahomes, you can be in contention, but with that ACL tear, don't know when he's going to be exactly back on the field, and so you have to hope that, or they have to hope that he's ready to go no later than week 6. Don't know who their backup quarterback is. I know they got some questions at wide receiver. They got some questions at tight end. And so looks like the Chargers and the Broncos are going to be fighting at the top once again. But the Broncos definitely took a loss today with Franklin Myers. And so everything's up in the air. Everything's up in the air. Um, I don't think the Patriots are the favorite in the AFC. I think that that team is ahead of their time, and having lost Stephon Diggs, I think that, or they didn't lose him, they actually released him or going to release him. I think that that opens up a big gap offensively. But like I said, I think they're going to be the team who actually land AJ Brown. Um, I don't know if Mike Vrabel was his coach in Tennessee because I don't remember what year Vrabel was there and what year AJ Brown was traded away. But if he was his coach in Tennessee, then hey, who knows him better, right? So I think he ends up at the Patriots. Um, right now it's a toss up. A lot of teams are loading up, um, but interested to see how this thing shakes out. Um, as it pertains to the Ravens and who I know to be left, although I hadn't checked like any kind of big board or anything, I think that we probably need to grab another offensive guard. I think we probably need to grab a wide receiver. I wouldn't mind if, to be honest, I would. Oh my goodness. If I had to choose between Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs, the problem children, um, I would probably go Stephon Diggs. I think I read an article several weeks ago where Stephon Diggs asked, could he join the Ravens or some kind of context like that. I wouldn't mind having him, but he's not, again, not a big receiver. But I think he would absolutely be an upgrade over what um, DeAndre Hopkins brought to the table. He does have some off-field issues, which is probably why the Patriots released him. Don't want him at 15 million. Don't want him at 20 million. If he can come in 8 to 10 million, 8 to 12 million, something like that, I'd be okay with that. Coming in playing beside Zay Flowers and maybe helping Tez Walker take that next step, then we can go get a big wide receiver in the draft because the AJ Brown dream is over, of course. And so I wouldn't mind a Stephon Diggs because Tyreek Hill injury was so gruesome, right? He won't be ready to go to midseason. And these are NFL athletes, optimal physical condition, but he has several things he has to recover from. And so he also has some off-field stuff going on. That's why I said between the two problem children, I would go Diggs because he is coming into his second year past that ACL, and he went for 1,000 yards last season, and so you could only expect him to be at least as good another year removed, or basically 2 years removed from that ACL. So you guys, if you're a Ravens fan, you let me know what you want me to know about Stephon Diggs. With understanding he does have the off the field issues, we understand all of that. I'm just talking about a 1 year deal, not in July, not in August, but I'm saying early on so we know how to move in the draft where he's going to be in. Of course, you want him to get the off the field stuff handled. Now, here's the truth, man. If any of the off field stuff comes out into a conviction and he gets into some trouble with the league, all bets are off because we don't have time to wait on somebody to come off suspension, things of that nature. But if things work out and he's good to go, then I'll take him. When I'm looking at other vet wide receivers, thinking about the Declan Doyle style offense, um, let me think. Who is out there? Mike Evans is gone. Alec Pierce is gone. Um, Keenan Allen, but and he's a consummate pro, right? I mean, he really, really is. But he's more of a third option at this point. I don't know if he can really be a number two because we really need somebody to step in at a number two. Do you want DeAndre Hopkins back? Um, is that is that what we want to lean into? A 34-year-old DeAndre Hopkins? I mean, different offense, different look. He may have different opportunities, but I just think Stephon Diggs has the ability to help us be more explosive than DeAndre Hopkins. But DeAndre Hopkins absolutely has no baggage right now. So that's what I'm thinking. So transactions seem to have slowed down a little bit right here, which is good. If things come to a halt, we will definitely pause uh, with understanding that there will be some things pop off this afternoon late that we can bring to you in the morning. But I think all of the major trades are out there, with the exception of AJ Brown. I think you could see a Rashad Bateman trade if you're talking about from the Baltimore Ravens perspective. I think you could see a Brandon Ayuk trade at some point or release. Talked about him a little earlier. I'm trying to think of guys who have who could be moved. Um, I'd have to go check people's cap space later on today in order to really see who could be let go. Because I know with some moves that's been made, it'll definitely be some teams that have to create cap space. Um, Let me know how you feeling about your team, right? If you're a Ravens fan, how are you feeling about the Ravens? If you're a Steelers fan, let me know how you feeling about the Steelers. If you're a Browns fan, how you feeling about the Browns? Are you impatient? Are you wanting them to hurry up and do something? You want them to do more? Or do you expect to have another year like you had last year? I definitely don't want another year like I had last year. I don't. It was it was frustrating above all other words. it was absolutely frustrating to watch what we looked like last year. I know it was a couple, and I know it was injuries and things of that nature. So I'm not tripping like we don't understand who, when, what, and where, and what happened to the Ravens. But it was definitely not something that was enjoyable. It wasn't football. It wasn't good coaching, and so hopefully Mike Mentor and the crew, make something shake uh, this coming year. Um, because I think that I I, uh, I got a big time conversation coming for you guys on Saturday morning concerning this Super Bowl window, if you will. Uh, do we have a window? Is it open? Is it closed? Is it opening? Is it closing? Or is it just cracked, not moving in either direction? Has it ever really been open? Those are real questions because we haven't really been close in the quote unquote Lamar Jackson era, the John Harbaugh era. We have not been close in a long time. And so I'm interested to see what we do this season. Interested to see what we do the remainder of this week. Um, I'm kind of shocked, actually, if I'm thinking about it, that the Ravens signed John Simpson. I'm not mad at it, but to sign him at a $10 million APY when you could have kept him years ago for less, it's frustrating. That's my biggest thing as a fan of the Ravens. My GM, our GM, he does some baffling things, right? And we'll talk about that first thing in the morning. So listen, nothing's rolling out right now. I'm gonna get out of here, man. Let you guys do your evening thing, and I'll catch you guys first thing in the morning around 8:30, and we'll talk some more football. All right.